Hey, what is up, YouTube? This is Bootney Farnsworth. That's right, Bootney Farnsworth. And today's commentary will be the start of a new series titled Bootney Farnsworth's Fight Stories, where I take a trip down memory lane and share my most memorable moments in my fighting career. Now, this first installment takes place after my third pro fight, which is the UFC 30 against the New York badass Phil Baroni. And just a side note, my fight with Baroni was supposed to be the first UFC official 185-pound fight. Prior to UFC 30, the UFC only had 3 weight classes. They had the 170 and below, which was lightweight. They had the middleweight, which was 199 and below. And then they had the heavyweight, which is 199, which was 200 and above. So when we get the call and we was offered the fight, they told us that the fight was going to be the first 185-pound fight. And I thought that was pretty good, seeing as how I was a small middleweight. So when we get the contract says 199. So then my manager calls the matchmaker and says, is this fight at 185 or 199? And they say the fight's at 199. And they hadn't started doing whatever they had to do to create the 185-pound weight class yet. So we had to take the fight at 199. And 14 pounds don't seem like a lot, but for me, it was huge. I mean, I walked around at about 180. I probably could have made 170 if I really tried. But when the UFC calls, I mean, what am I going to say? No. I mean, this was my third pro fight, and I thought it was a huge opportunity, so we decided to take the fight. And as expected, Baroni was huge, cutting from 220 to make the 199 weight class. Barely, I might add. I remember during the weigh-ins, he was late, and he came in, and he was struggling to shed those last pounds. And Baroni, he had a background in wrestling. He was a bodybuilder, did tough man competitions. And as most fight fans would know, wrestlers are masters of cutting weight and putting it right back on right before fight time. And I guarantee you he was at least 215 when he walked into the octagon. Well, the fight was pretty uneventful, a couple of strikes here and there, and he kept taking me down repeatedly. It was a lot of lay and pray if you ask me. If you don't know what lay and pray is, it was a term to describe when a wrestler would take a striker down and basically just position his way to victory. I end up losing a decision after 2 rounds. Back then, the preliminary fights in the UFC were only 2 rounds. So I go back to the drawing board and I decide to start competing in grappling matches to help my ground game. Back then, fighters weren't as well-rounded as they are today. And if a fighter wanted to improve, it was commonplace for like strikers to, if you're a boxer or kickboxer, to start doing grappling matches to help your ground game, and vice versa. Grapplers were into boxing and kickboxing matches to improve their stand-up game. So this particular grappling match, it was a local grappling match in Kansas City, and my opponent was a wannabe WWF wrestler. Before the matches, all the competitors are warming up backstage, and I take a look at the dude I'm gonna grapple with, and he won't look me in my eyes, and I'm like, damn, is this dude scared? I mean, this isn't a fight. I mean, we're just grappling, you know, submissions and chokeholds. But the dude clearly looks scared as shit. And I guess the dude had heard that I had competed in the UFC, so I guess that scared him. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like I was gonna punch his face or cave his jaw in. Well, the match starts, and the dude's hesitant as heck. So we're rolling around, you know, I take the guy down. I mean, he won't try anything, and he just looks scared. So then I started to smell something. And I'm like, damn, I don't think I just farted. And I improved my position. We're rolling around. And I noticed, because the dude had white shorts on, and I noticed a little brown spot in the butt part of his shorts. So I'm like, damn, I don't remember them giving out, you know, little chocolates, you know, at the entrance. So I'm like, hey, did this dude really just shart, or did I really scare the shit out of this dude? So I end up rolling around. A couple more minutes later, I end up submitting him. But while I'm rolling with him, I mean, the smell starts getting more intense and more intense. And this is probably why I hurry up and submitted the guy. I mean, I wanted to work my ground game, you know, take my time, work my positions, new things I learned. But like I said, the smell got so bad that I think I had to hurry up and slap on a chokehold on this dude to end this match. But I didn't embarrass the dude. I shook the dude's hand. You know, I walked backstage. I told my coach about it, and we started laughing. Then I came to the conclusion that you can literally scare the shit out of somebody. So that is the first story of the Bootney Farnsworth most memorable fight stories. Well, guys, I hope you liked the story because next episode we'll take a trip to Russia and I'll discuss my experience with St. Petersburg, tampon strings, and the Russian mafia. This is Bootney Farnsworth, the only pugilistic COD commentator in the business.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe.